When Amber Marshall finally spoke out, the words she used were not what fans expected. After so many months of silence, her message about season 19 left longtime viewers with their jaws on the floor. What did she say? And why did it shake the very core of Heartland's loyal fanbase? Amber Marshall is not just an actress on Heartland, she is the soul of the show. For over 17 years, fans have followed her journey as Amy Fleming. From a young horse trainer mourning the loss of her mother to a strong, loving woman trying to keep her family together, Amy's character has always been the emotional heartbeat of Heartland. And it's Amber who brought that role to life with her natural charm, honesty, and deep connection to the character. Many fans say they don't watch Heartland for just the horses or the beautiful Canadian landscape. They watch for Amy. They grew up with her. They cried with her when Ty died. They cheered for her when she picked herself back up. Her quiet strength and loyalty made viewers feel seen, like they were a part of her journey. And even as cast members came and went, Amy stayed. Amber stayed. So, when the rumors that Amber might leave the show or that season 19 would be her last, it felt like a punch to the gut. She had always been open and honest with her fans. Her Instagram was full of behind-the-scenes updates, smiling selfies from the Heartland set, and personal stories about her life on the ranch. But then she went quiet, completely quiet. Number. Updates, no interviews, nothing. That silence was louder than any words. People began to worry. Not just about Amy's future on the show, but about the show itself. Could Heartland really survive without her? It wasn't just a character being questioned, it was the foundation of the series. Amber Marshall has shaped Heartland with her real-life ranch experience, her deep love for animals, and her commitment to making Amy's story feel genuine. She wasn't just playing Amy, she was Amy in so many ways. And fans felt that connection every time she appeared on screen. In interviews over the years, Amber always talked about how much the Heartland family meant to her. She spoke about the strong bond between cast and crew and how filming on location in Alberta made her feel at home. So when she suddenly stepped back from the spotlight, fans couldn't help but feel something serious was happening behind the scenes. Was she thinking of stepping away? Had something gone wrong during filming? Or was she simply preparing for a huge change in the storyline, something so shocking it couldn't be revealed too soon? Whatever the reason, Amber Marshall's silence became the biggest mystery surrounding Heartland season 19. And now that she's finally broken that silence, everything is about to change for someone so deeply loved by fans, Amber Marshall's. Sudden silence felt like a storm building in the distance, quiet, steady, and unsettling. Normally, as filming for a new season begins, Amber is the first to share sneak peeks. A horse's saddle, a barn door swinging open, a glimpse of Amy's iconic plaid shirt, these small updates always gave fans comfort. But this time there was nothing. No posts, no interviews, no comments. Not even a birthday message for a co-star. And for Heartland fans, that was deeply unusual. The gap between season 18 and season 19 had already been filled with emotional weight. Ty's death in earlier seasons had left viewers still aching. Amy had grown stronger, but her story remained a slow, healing journey. Viewers were holding on to hope that season 19 would bring a sense of closure or even a miracle. So when Amber didn't speak at all, it was as if that hope started slipping through their fingers. Speculation quickly took over the fandom. Some believed Amber was quietly stepping away from the show. Others thought a major script change had been made, one so shocking she couldn't reveal anything without spoiling it all. Reddit threads exploded. Fan groups on Facebook and Instagram were flooded with theories. "She's quitting," one fan posted. "No, she's directing this season," another replied. The truth was, no one knew. And the longer she stayed quiet, the louder the rumors became. Even the Heartland production team stayed tight-lipped. Usually Amber and the writers work hand in hand. She's not just the face on the screen, she gives feedback on scenes, helps shape Amy's emotional beats, and sometimes even brings her real-life horse training knowledge into key moments of the story. But in this cycle, fans noticed something strange. Amber wasn't tagged in the usual behind-the-scenes group photos. She wasn't mentioned in updates. It felt like she had become a ghost on her own show. At one point, fans began watching crew members' Instagram stories for clues: a coffee cup left on a fence post, a blurry shadow walking behind the barn. People were desperate to see even the smallest sign of her presence. Still, nothing clear came through. The silence even made some fear that personal tragedy had struck Amber off camera. Was she okay? Was someone in her family unwell? Could it be that real life had finally pulled her away from the fictional world she had held together for almost 2 decades? What made the silence more mysterious was that Amber had always been open with her audience. She had shared both joy and heartbreak with them over the years. Her social media didn't just promote the show, it gave fans a look into her soul. So why the sudden wall? And then finally it happened. Just days before season 19's promotional push began, Amber posted a photo. It wasn't flashy, just a simple shot of the Heartland barn at sunset. But the caption? It shook the fanbase to its core. This season will be different. Be ready. No emojis, no hints. Just those words. And the comment section exploded. Was she hinting at her departure? Was Ty somehow coming back? Was there a major death coming in the storyline? Fans didn't know. But one thing was clear: Amber's silence wasn't random. It had been building up to something major. And now all eyes were on what she meant. By different as fans held their breath and reread the post over and over, a single truth settled deep. The calm before the storm was over. Amber Marshall had spoken. And season 19 would never be the same. Asterisk, it wasn't just a post, it was a spark. Amber Marshall's cryptic message, this season will be different. Be ready, turned quiet curiosity into a wildfire of speculation. For days, fans analyzed every word, every pause, every shadow in the photo. But nothing could prepare them for what came next. In a surprise move, Amber sat down for a rare video interview with a Canadian entertainment outlet. No fancy studio. Just her wearing a denim jacket, seated beside her horse in the open fields of Alberta. Her eyes looked calm, but the words she spoke stirred everything Heartland fans thought they knew. She didn't start with spoilers. Instead, she spoke from the heart. I've been on this journey for over half my life, she said softly. Amy has become a part of me, but this season I felt something shift. The story, it goes somewhere no one expects. Amber paused. That pause held more weight than any dialogue written for the show. Then she continued. For the first time, Amy will face something not even horses can heal. And it challenged me, not just as an actor, but as a person. The reporter pressed. Gently, was it about Ty? About leaving Heartland? Amber's response sent a shockwave through the fandom. There's a scene, early in the season, where Amy sees someone she never thought she'd see again, and it changes everything. I cried when I read it. Not because it was sad, but because it was unbelievable. I didn't know how fans would react. The internet erupted. It's Ty! It has to be Ty! Fans screamed. Memes, reaction videos, and breakdowns flooded YouTube and TikTok. But Amber never confirmed who that someone was. And that mystery only fueled the fire. She did, however, give one more clue. The scene was written and shot with so much secrecy, we didn't even get the full script until the day before. I've never experienced anything like that on this show. That level of confidentiality was unheard of in Heartland's 18-season history. And it begged the question, what could possibly be so shocking that even the cast had to be kept in the dark? Amber then shifted her tone. This season, Amy questions her place on the ranch. She asks herself what she truly wants. For so long, she's done everything for others, for the horses, for Lindy, for the memory of Ty. But what happens when she's finally asked, what does Amy want? It was a question fans hadn't asked. In years, Amy had always been selfless, always the rock. But this version of her, one who might make a decision for herself, even if it breaks tradition, that was new. That was different. The interviewer ended with a final question. Do you think fans are ready for what's coming? Amber smiled, a little sad, a little excited. Some will cry, Some will be angry, but all I can say is, they're about to see Amy in a way they never have before. And just like that, the video ended. No clear answers, no plot reveals. But every word felt like a warning. Or maybe a promise. Was Ty returning in a dream, a vision, or something more? Was Amy saying goodbye to the ranch? Or could season 19 actually mark the end of her time on the show? Whatever the truth is, one thing is clear: Amber Marshall didn't just speak. She shook the ground Heartland stands on. And now, with every teaser and trailer release, fans aren't just watching for Amy, they're searching for the truth hidden in her silence. And her smile, when Amber Marshall's interview dropped, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. Within minutes, #Heartland Season 19 was trending across multiple platforms. Her calm delivery, paired with that haunting phrase, "someone she never thought she'd see again," sent shockwaves across the Heartland fanbase. People weren't just guessing anymore, they were dividing, and fast. One camp screamed, "It's Ty!" convinced that Graham Wardle had secretly returned. They pointed to old behind-the-scenes photos, blurry shapes in the background of recent set images, and even compared hand shadows from past seasons to claim he'd been spotted. Some even speculated that Ty never really died on screen, that it was all part of a long-term plan. The other side argued something deeper, that the return Amber hinted at wasn't physical, but emotional. Maybe Amy's seeing a younger version of herself. Maybe she's being confronted by the ghost of Ty, not a literal one, but through a dream, a vision, a piece of memory that forces her to face a truth she's been hiding from. These fans claimed the statement wasn't about who she saw, but what that moment did to her. Then there were the quiet fans, the ones who didn't post but read every word carefully. They noted the emotion in Amber's voice, her tired eyes, the weight behind every pause. To them, the bigger shock wasn't who's returning, but what's ending. Could Amy be preparing to say goodbye? Was this her final season? Her last ride through the fields of Heartland? Online forums became battlegrounds. YouTube channels began dropping theory videos titled "Amy's Last Goodbye? Is Ty Alive?" And even "Heartland Reboot Coming?" Some fans were hopeful. Others were furious. But no one stayed quiet. Even the cast felt the ripple. Sean Johnston, Jack Bartlett, liked a fan comment on Instagram that said, "If Amy leaves, the ranch falls apart." Michelle Morgan, Lou, shared a post with a cryptic caption, "Changes come like thunderfast, loud, and never when you're ready. These little moments only made things worse." Or more exciting, for many viewers this wasn't just about a storyline, it was personal. Amber Marshall had been a part of their lives for nearly 2 decades. Her journey through loss, love, motherhood, and heartbreak reflected their own struggles. So, if she was truly stepping into a new phase, it meant they were too. Some fans were heartbroken. "I grew up with Amy, I'm not ready to let her go," one user posted. Others were defiant. "If this is the end of Amy's story, let it be powerful, let it be on her terms." But all agreed on one thing: season 19 isn't just another season. It's a turning point, and that's where the meaning becomes bigger than the moment. Amber's words, "The season will be different. Be ready," weren't just a tease, they were a warning, a signal, a challenge to fans to open their hearts to something bold, unexpected, and maybe even painful, because sometimes growth doesn't come through peace. It comes through storms. And in Heartland, storms often bring change. What if this isn't just about Amy seeing someone again? What if it's about us seeing her for the last time? The dust hasn't settled, and maybe it never will, not after what Amber Marshall revealed. Her words were few, but the silence they shattered left behind a question heavier than any plot twist. What now? With Heartland Season 19 just around the corner, fans are clinging to every frame of teaser footage, every whispered line in a trailer, every glance exchanged between characters. But something feels off, not wrong but unfamiliar. And maybe that's exactly what Amber meant when she said, "This season will be different." Already, the early promos feel more intense, more personal. There's a tension in Amy's eyes, something we haven't seen since the loss of Ty. She's not just strong. She's searching for something or someone. In one scene, she's shown riding alone through the open fields. No dialogue, just wind. Viewers have pointed out that the camera lingers longer than usual. It's almost as if the land itself is telling her something. Or calling something back. Behind the camera, too, things are shifting. Directors known for the show's more emotional episodes are returning. The writers' team has reportedly brought in new voices, people with experience crafting bold character exits and legacy-defining storylines. That's no coincidence, it's preparation. The kind of preparation that signals a crossroads is near. But here's where things become truly uncertain. Amber still hasn't confirmed her future. In every interview, she dances around the big question. Are you staying beyond season 19? Reporters ask. And she smiles, looks away, and replies with something like, right now, I'm just focused on telling Amy's story truthfully. That's not a yes, it's not a no. It's a doorway, left wide open, and fans are staring into it, wondering if this is the beginning of a final farewell. But what if it's not goodbye? What if season 19 isn't the end, but the beginning of a bold new chapter? One that allows Amy to evolve in a way we've never seen. A season that redefines what Heartland can be, even if it means letting go of what it used to be. There's also another theory picking up momentum. What if this return Amber mentioned is not Ty, but Amy herself? Not just returning to her roots, but rediscovering who she is when no one is asking her to be strong. What if this season is less about romance or loss or legacy and more about freedom? Amy choosing for herself. Not for Lindy, not for Jack, not even for the ranch. But for Amy, that kind of shift would be shocking in the world of Heartland. Because the show has always been about family, sacrifice, and holding things together. But maybe now, it's time to explore what happens when someone brave enough to carry others decides to finally carry herself, whatever comes next. One thing is certain, Amber Marshall's presence on screen or off has changed Heartland forever. And whether she rides off into the sunset or rides towards something new, fans will follow her because she's earned it. The next episode won't just be another chapter. It will be a decision, a reveal, a reckoning, and Heartland will never be the same again. Amy Fleming is more than a character. She is a symbol, a mirror, a quiet force that has stood strong through heartbreak, healing, and change for nearly 2 decades. And it is Amber Marshall who gave her that life, not just through performance, but through heart. From the very first episode of Heartland, Amber didn't just play Amy, she became her. With grace and honesty, she shaped Amy into a character who wasn't loud or dramatic, but real. A girl who fell, broke, grieved, and stood back up. Fans connected with her not because she was perfect, but because she was human. Because through every horse she rescued, every fence she repaired, and every loss she endured, Amy reminded us what it means to keep going. That's the kind of legacy few actors leave behind. And that's what makes Amber Marshall's recent silence, and then her powerful words, so heavy. She knows how deeply fans have lived through Amy, and that's why, when she says, "This season will be different," the world listens. Amber has always protected Amy's journey. She's turned down storylines she didn't believe in. She's spoken openly about the importance of keeping Amy grounded, connected to her roots, her land, and her animals. She fought to keep the story about healing, not just drama. And that integrity has become the heartbeat of the series. So now, as season 19 approaches, the question shifts from what happens next to something deeper. What has Amy taught us? For some, it's patience. Watching her slowly mend her life after Ty's death showed that healing isn't quick or neat. For others, it's strength and stillness. Amy never had to raise her voice to be heard. Her calm presence was power enough. And for many, it's been hope. That no matter how broken something feels, with enough love and time, it can grow again. But now, as the possibility of change looms, whether it's Amy leaving, transforming, or taking a different path, we're faced with a truth many aren't ready to accept. Even the strongest journeys must evolve. And even the most beloved characters must find their own ending. Amber hasn't confirmed that she's leaving, but she hasn't denied that season 19 will challenge everything we thought we knew. And maybe that's her way of giving Amy one final gift, the freedom to be more than what we expect. to surprise us, to lead us somewhere new, because Amy's story has never been about staying the same. It's been about growing, changing, and learning when to let go and when to hold on tighter. No matter what happens in season 19, one thing is certain: Amber Marshall has already secured her place in television history. And Amy Fleming will forever ride through the hearts of those who watched her, become not just a girl with a gift but a woman with a legacy. The wind over the Heartland Ranch has always carried stories of love, of loss, of healing, but now it carries something else, an ending, or perhaps a rebirth. And that's the question haunting every fan's mind: is this really the last time we'll see Amy Fleming? Amber Marshall's words have left the fandom suspended in midair. She hasn't said goodbye, but she hasn't promised a future either. That silence between certainty and uncertainty is where the most powerful stories live. And now Heartland stands right at that edge. The trailers for season 19 show only fragments. Lindy asking questions her mother can't answer. Jack watching Amy from a distance, his face heavy with unspoken worry. A scene with Amy staring across a valley, her hand resting on her horse's mane, the light catching tears she never lets fall. No music, just wind. Just waiting. Everything feels like it's building to something big. Too big to be just another plot twist. Too quiet to be a dramatic finale. It feels personal, final, inevitable, and still, fans refuse to believe it. Could there be a secret deal behind the scenes? A plan for Amy to return in a new role, maybe not as the lead, but as the soul of a new generation? Could Amber be stepping back, not away? Or is she laying the groundwork for the kind of goodbye that echoes for years? There are rumors, of course. Whispers that Graham Wardle was seen near the set. A strange line in the script that the crew refused to explain. Even theories that Amy will leave the ranch to chase something she lost long ago herself. But the truth is, no one knows. And that's exactly how Heartland has always kept us hooked. It doesn't need explosions. It doesn't rely on cliffhanger deaths. Its power lies in the space between words, in the aching look, the quiet hug, the pause before someone walks away. Amber Marshall's different season might be the last ride for Amy, or it might be her most defining chapter yet. Either way, fans aren't just watching a show anymore. They're holding on to a legacy, a connection, a piece of themselves. So now we wait for the premiere, for the answers, for that one moment that will either break our hearts or set them on fire. But one thing's for sure: when Amy finally speaks, when that first episode fades to black and we realize what her journey truly meant, we'll never see Heartland the same way again.